might be a new year, but I am still the same blabbermouth, so I figured what better way to ring in 2024 than being exactly who I am. I'm Caroline. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. It's here, 2024. I personally feel like I can only go up from the horrors that occurred in 2023, but that is not what we're going to be talking about today. No, no, no. I pay a professional and alarming amount of money to talk about those things. We're going to be talking about fashion, specifically though fashion that is predicted to be trending this year or is already currently trending, and even some stuff that is not trending or predicted to be trending at all. I'm just personally excited to wear it and want to talk about it. So whenever I make any sort of trend video, I just always feel the need to say that, like, at the end of the day, the trend cycle can be fun, but it also is a sidekick, side effect, little evil worker of capitalism and the never-ending consumerist mindset that is currently destroying the world, blah, 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 all of that. At the end of the day, the hottest, sexiest thing you can do is just to wear whatever the fuck you want. I just like to gab, okay? I'm a girl who likes to gab. I'm not a girl. I'm 25, turning 26 at the end of this month. I am a full-grown woman, but the gabbing is still there regardless. The desire to gab, the pure, raw, primal need to gab, I don't think will ever go away. Starting us off, we have animal print. I feel like I spent all of last year hearing about people predicting that animal print was gonna be back in a big way, but it hasn't been until these last 1 to 2 months that I really started to notice it all over, at least my social media. Animal print hats, animal print scarves, animal print purses, animal print jackets, animal print glasses, animal print shoes, just everything and anything is animal print. I've definitely noticed leopard and cheetah print being at the forefront of this trend, which of course has to do with the comeback of indie sleaze and the rise of 2010 trends. As much as we tried to fight it, it is here and it's not going anywhere, and this is not the first time that it's going to be brought up even in this video. Whether you're a regular indulger in animal print or maybe seeing it pop up more is kind of getting it on your mind. It's making you maybe want to try and test it out. I'm excited. I love it. I am personally more of a tiger zebra stripe girl myself. I really think that's the key to wearing animal print, is finding your inner animal that you connect with and unleashing that. I hated every second of what I just said, but I said it anyway. Since we're already on the topic of things from the 2010s making their way back, let's talk about sailor and nautical style. I want to say it was a Vogue video I recently watched with Emma Chamberlain where she was talking about things that she thought were going to be trending for the upcoming year, and nautical style specifically, she mentioned boat shoes she thought were going to be a really big thing, which immediately sent a shock wave of just treachery through my body because I associate boat shoes with frat boys, which is one of the most scary and sinister things I could personally ever think of. I do think she was onto something with that though, because I have been noticing more and more kind of sailor-esque inspired silhouettes popping up from different brands here and there. A couple months ago, I was actually at the Roseville Flea Market in Pasadena, which is just this ginormous flea market with anything from more curated vendors of clothing to just, I mean, like piles and piles of clothing that you can dig through for really cheap prices. And in one of those piles, I managed to get my hands on what I thought was a sailor costume top for a child because it was really, really teeny tiny for a 26-inch waist. And then I took it to the dry cleaners and the guy was like, oh my God, this looks exactly like the World War II Navy sailor top that my grandfather has and we have framed over here. Take a look. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm over here like, oh, I bought this because it was cute and $5 and the collar reminded me of something from Sandy Liang. I was not aware that I was now going to be possessing a legitimate Navy World War II sailor's uniform. Also was not aware that the sailors were rocking the little petite 26-inch frame like that. I'm into it, I mean, clearly, and very prepared. I do think though I'm gonna be sticking more so to the inspired silhouettes of the sailor trend and not the literal boat shoe anchor. I'm saying this as I have a literal sailor's uniform that I am going to be wearing. Moving right along, we have pins, which you would know if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram that I am one of the biggest pushers of the pin propaganda right now. Initially, I included this because it's something I've personally been wearing and am excited to continue to play around with this year, but then when I went on Pinterest, I was like, now hold on. hold on right here, right now, because I'm noticing a lot of pins on a lot of different bags and purses and jackets and hats and pants and shoes, and oh my god, is the pin propaganda that I've been working so tirelessly to spread around actually maybe working. I love pins possibly trending so much because one, I just think it's a fun addition to any outfit that's like kind of unnecessary, like it doesn't need to be there, but also nothing has ever felt more necessary in my entire life. It's so easy to thrift. I actually think that thrifted vintage pins are the best pins to get, and you can really show your personality through them, get sassy little sayings. I love it, and I want them on anything and everything, and I have been doing exactly that, and I don't plan on stopping. Hats, all different shapes, colors, sizes, silhouettes, textures. I just want to add a hat to, similarly to pins, to every single one of my outfits. There's something that feels so deeply unserious about wearing a hat that has been something I've struggled with in the past and has been a deterrent for me from finally stepping into the light and to the truth of how fun and yes, unserious wearing a hat is, but that's the point. It's like, yeah, that's the whole bit about it. You gotta go with it. Bringing up some more content I consumed recently, because that is literally all that I do. Mina Lay posted a video talking about what happened to hats and how they used to be so prevalent in our society, and now it is like this kind of weird, strange thing where I don't think it's weird when other people wear hats, but I feel like everyone feels weird when they're wearing a hat because no one else is wearing a hat. And it's like, what happened to the hat? I've gotten my hands on a few different styles of hats recently, anything from a beret to the more like baker boy train conductor inspired hat, and it hasn't been the easiest thing to style them, but it has been fun, and I can't wait to continue to do that this year, kind of push myself out of my comfort zone. It's just like the fun little cherry on top of any outfit, and who doesn't love that? Since we're already on the topic of hair accessories, I have also been noticing the jumbo giant XXL scrunchies everywhere recently. Scrunchies were definitely popular last year and even the year before that, but I feel like they've just been getting bigger as far as like the amount of people wearing them, but also quite literally physically bigger and expanding, and they're taking over our heads at this point, and I'm kind of obsessed. I've been eyeing a few from the brand Good Squish that is so fucking adorable, but also not the cheapest thing for a scrunchie I've ever seen. I actually tried making one of my own in an attempt to be a savvy saver, and it did not end well. So, ooh, okay, gonna be getting a bit potentially controversial with this next trend, which is fur. The discourse around fur has been circulating online once again recently. I mean, I feel like it's always kind of there. It's been a hot topic for a while now. You know, PETA, hey, heard of her work? She'd like a word. One of my mutuals on TikTok actually made a TikTok talking about how she was, I got
kicked out of a bar in New York for wearing fur. And I feel like I didn't get the memo that like wearing fur in New York is like, I guess, like really offensive. It was vintage. It was like a mink coat from the 30s, so it was very old. And I do feel like okay with wearing vintage fur. I know some people like don't agree with that, but personally, it's never bothered me. Like I would never buy a fur coat new. But anyways, I walked up to this bar. It was like a speakeasy, and the man was like, "Is your coat real?" And I was like, "Yes, it's real. It's really old. It's from the 30s." And he was like, "That doesn't matter. Fur is not allowed here. You need to leave." And I thought he was joking, so I kind of just looked at him and I was like, really? And he was like, "Yeah, like, please go." It was like such an intense moment. I almost wanted to cry because it just felt like such a like weird rejection, and then I was questioning my morals, and it was
personally to me, it seems like he might have just been a little bit jealous of how absolutely jaw-dropping incredible she looked in her vintage fur coat, but that's just me. There is a lot to be said and just a lot of different opinions about this topic. I'm gonna say my piece and keep it brief, which is that I think if you are wearing like vintage fur, I've never understood personally how that is different from wearing a vintage leather jacket or vintage suede. They all come from animals and you're getting it secondhand. It already exists. You're not contributing with your money directly to an industry that harms animals, so I don't really understand what the issue is. As a person who used to follow a very hardcore vegan diet for many years, I now am more so just plant-based, but I mean, you can literally see it in the background. I have vintage fur, I have vintage leather, I have vintage suede. I would never buy any of those things firsthand. I don't buy most of the stuff I own firsthand, but especially those items, and I think that is, in my head, better than buying even faux fur firsthand, because even though you're not like harming an animal, you are harming the environment, because faux fur is literally plastic pretty much all of the time. Whatever way you might feel, though, it's pretty undeniable that, I mean, not only am I'm excited to wear it, I'm excited to wear my vintage furs because I think they're really cunty and cool and chic, and I love the idea of putting on some vintage Levi's and a graphic tee and throwing on my vintage fur with my fry harness boots and going up to Trader Joe's and say, hey, it's 10 a.m. on a Wednesday. I'm just here to get some lettuce. Looking all cool and cunty and chic. I've been seeing it all over my social media recently, mainly in coats and jackets, but there have also been some hats and purses popping up in fur that I'm like, ooh, that's cute. That's fun. I can get down with that. The color black, which no, I am not dumb enough to consider wearing the color black a trend. This is more so the like personal development things in fashion that I'm excited about. I never really tended to gravitate towards the color black. I don't know why. I swear once when I was a young girl, like someone told me that wearing black made you look older, and of course, even as a young girl, I knew that you did not want to look old as a woman, God forbid. And so I just kind of steered clear of it, and so maybe this is me breaking down those ageist, patriarchal bullshit beauty standards as a haggard 25-year-old woman and embracing the fact that wearing black is just like really cool and sexy and chic. And I love it. As an example, I woke up this morning and knew I wanted to wear my overalls, but I could not figure out what to pair under it. And I was like, why don't I just pull out my black turtleneck? Like, that is always gonna do it every single time, has yet to steer me in the wrong direction. I do have in my head two different lanes I can think to go down when it comes to wearing the color black. The first lane is that sort of 90s minimalist chic, like Caroline Bessette Kennedy look. I've been getting a lot of style inspiration TikToks of her recently, and I don't know if that is because she is becoming a bit more popular and circulating around more online, or if it's because I looked up an article about her style and now my phone knows and is reading my mind and is purposefully feeding that to me in my algorithm. But nonetheless, here we are. The other sort of way of thinking for me when it comes to wearing black is actually that of Whimsy goth, which is by no means a new aesthetic or style of dressing in any way. I had known about it, but I wasn't super familiar with her game until I did my tier ranking aesthetics video a couple months ago, and I incorporated Whimsy goth and was looking at all of these inspo photos on Pinterest and was just blown away and also drooling and foaming at the mouth for these outfits that were just like a hot gothic witch that I wanted to be so badly. The aesthetic as a whole incorporates a lot more than just wearing black in your outfit. It's this way that I found was so playful and creative of how like mixing different silhouettes of black items of clothing and like these really interesting and just like delicious for my mind to look at textures and the lace and the velvet and like the layers and the accessories, and I love it. Can you tell? Can you tell how deeply passionate I feel about this? I actually have on my list that I'm also excited to wear velvet and dusters this year, which could be their own thing, but are also both definitely heavy elements in the Whimsy goth aesthetic that I definitely am wanting to wear more of because of all of the Whimsy goth photos that are currently taking over my Pinterest. Dusters to me are one of the most dramatic items of clothing ever created. The way that they just like flow and grace the floor as you walk while you're wearing them. Oh my god. I love a bit of drama. Okay, or a lot of drama. We know this. It's not new information. Velvet also has me feeling a very similar sort of way. It's by no means something that you should be wearing if you're wanting to go for an understated sort of look. So interesting to look at in an outfit, whether it is like a big statement velvet item or it's just like a little accessory. You know, like a little velvet choker, a little velvet hat, some velvet shoes. because velvet shoes are so subtle, right? It's fun, and that's kind of at the end of the day all that I'm really trying to do with my outfits. It was a big theme for my style last year, was just trying to stay true to what I was feeling in every moment when I was getting dressed, and just go with that and enjoy that moment. And as long as I was having fun, that's all that mattered, and I want to continue that into this year and just not take things too seriously. And similarly to hats, velvet feels very unserious, and so do dusters, because why are they so long? Who's to say? But they are, and it's incredible. I currently have one in my wardrobe right now, but I have a feeling that by the end of this year there will be a kind of collection that has been acquired. Kitschy, fun, nonsensical purses is something that I have wanted to explore for a while now, and I've decided that this is the year that I'm going to do it. We are also, again, staying on theme all throughout this video, just one transition into the other of yet another item that it's like, why is that happening? Why is that necessary? Because I said it is. When I say nonsensical purse, the first thing that comes into my head is the iconic Jane Birkin basket bag, which was just like literally a picnic basket she was carrying around and decided to make a purse, and we all were just like, yeah, real. Her mind. I love this idea of having this crazy statement purse and wearing it with maybe a more simple outfit and letting it be the star of the show, or adding a purse with an already insane outfit and just adding to the insanity and living your fully like unhinged truth. That also is very appealing to me. One of my mutuals, Kim, who I think I've brought her up multiple times at this point on my channel. I am first and foremost a Kim Stan account, and second a person, but she has the sickest crazy bag collection, and it's so endearing to me, like to see her styling them, but also to see someone in person with one of those bags. You're just like, I know you're fun, I know you're a good time, and I want to know everything about you, and I want to be your friend, and I want to be that person. I want to be someone who I'd want to be friends with, and I think that having a crazy bag collection will help me achieve that. Capitalism, baby. Buying things that I don't really need, but I've convinced myself I need to achieve this idealized version of myself in my head that I'm telling myself I will be happier when I become. On that note, moving on to something I kind of already touched on this when talking about Whimsy goth, but this like really fun, there's that fucking word again. If you are interested in being hospitalized for alcohol poisoning, take a shot every time I mention the word fun in this video. This sort of outside of the box unconventional layering of like, you know, a dress over pants, which I cannot even believe that I'm saying that. I've been saying that, I've worn it, I love it, I'm fully converted. Ashley Tisdale, you are ahead of your time. Just getting experimental, mixing and matching, a more kind of modern interpretation from the Ashley Tisdale of the early 2000s, mixing and matching and layering that I like to think of is Lindsay, aka Linmick, another person I have brought up multiple times on this channel. She, to me though, is doing it like no one else when it comes to the unconventional layering. I do think that there's an interesting element with unconditional layering that also plays into one of the other trends that I wanted to talk about, so might as well let's transition, there it is again, into it, which is big, shapeless, oversized silhouettes. In my mind, both of these trends have that through line of dressing in a way that is sort of averting the male gaze, and once again, those patriarchal beauty standards coming up, but staying away from terms like flattering and instead just focusing on wearing things because you like them and you like how you feel in them regardless of how your body looks in them. I know as someone who myself has struggled with body issues, who hasn't, right? Yeah, can I get a couple hands? Talking to my invisible audience in my room. Every hand is up though. Leaning into more shapeless silhouettes, I felt like I was putting together outfit combinations that before I would have never tried pairing together for fear of not looking like quote unquote the most flattering on my body, right? And instead just being like, I'm a shapeless amoeba. You know, like this body, you can't see what's happening. Why do you think I love overalls so much? You don't know what's happening under here, all right? This is not yours to perceive, all right? So stop trying to perceive it. I want fringe, and I want it everywhere, on everything, and I want it right now. I don't know if I said that both unconventional layering and shapeless silhouettes are both things that are currently trending or predicted to be trending. Fringe, on the other hand, no idea, no interest. All I know is that I am very interested in specifically a brown vintage 70s fringe jacket. like as soon as possible. As someone who takes a lot of their style influence from the 70s, the fact that I don't own more fringe is actually kind of alarming to me. Whether it is in the form of something like a jacket or a vest or a skirt or even some bags. I've seen a lot of fringe bags. When I say a lot, I mean about 3 on my Pinterest recently though. And again, I am very interested. You will know that I have reached inner peace when you see me wearing my brown fringe jacket finally, because once again, capitalism has convinced me that I need to buy something to feel fulfilled. Okay, getting down to the last 2 things that I had put on my list. Next up being customized denim. Customized anything in general is very appealing to me. I love this idea of a kind of like DIY, also very personal. Also, my Aquarius sun and individuality complex is coming into play here because it's like, this is mine and it's one of a kind and you can't have it. I'm annoying. Yeah, that's what I'm realizing after 2 hours of filming this video. My insufferability is reaching new heights. Beyond my unrelenting need to be different, as well as, of course, the cool, sexy element that I feel customized denim has, I do also think, as someone who likes to do a thrift flip every now and then, it's a fun way to bring new life to an older item, whether you're just wanting to spice up something a little more simple, or if an item is ruined, you can have a lot of fun with certain patches, certain embroidery, adding fabric here and there and everywhere. I've been collecting my own little personal pile of patches to put on a pair of coveralls actually that I'm wanting to give a little makeover to. It also gives me big pin energy, the patches. It's all falling under the same umbrella of propaganda. Got a few different projects in my head with this customized denim trend, so if it can keep me busy, you know, getting crafty, staying off my phone, using my hands for something other than scrolling on social media for hours and hours on end, it makes it even better. And here we are, last but certainly not least, actually ending how we started with another trend making its appearance again from the 2010s, which is Peter Pan collars. Specifically though, detachable Peter Pan collars. Definitely been seeing these here and there for a while now. The brand Gani always comes to mind when I think of detachable collars because they've been doing them for a hot minute. Also for a hot price of like at least $100 for a detachable collar. In this economy, I love you, Gani. We need to keep it so real though. Probably another thing that I will be whipping my sewing machine out to DIY because we're in a recession, aren't we? Like, please. Very twee, preppy, Zooey Deschanel 500 Days of Summer, but if she was in 2024 wearing Sandy Liang and Miu Miu, which I also think back then she was also wearing Miu Miu. I don't think I currently own anything with a Peter Pan collar on it, and I do not yet have my detachable Peter Pan collar, but I do like the detachable element of it just because if this is something I decide is maybe not for me. I haven't bought like 10 Peter Pan collar tops. I'm just having this fun little detachable collar that I can add to my outfit if I'm wanting a little extra something something, I'm feeling crazy, or I can not. I like that freedom, you know? I'm free. I'm not constrained. One thing about me from this video, I like to be free. I like to be individual. I say I don't like capitalism, but I fall victim to it every single time, but in a way that is like cool and sexy. And with that, well, that was all I had to talk about in this video. So there we have it for this video. All of the fashion things that have been occupying my mind and I just had to share about to you for 3 hours. Like always, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope that you enjoyed it, and of course let me know all of your thoughts and opinions and feelings in the comments below about really anything. We can keep it to fashion and trends, but you know, you can just like ramble on down there too. That's fine. I'll allow it. This is a safe space. I'll see you next time in my next video where I'll be styling all of these things. But until then, bye.